is there a way for some of these people to maybe self-identify the self-sabotage so they can become more balanced?
Yeah, I mean, and that's part of what the ebook that I wrote does. And it's really, recognizing that we are made up of all different parts. We have all different personality parts, right? So, um, saying I'm the kind of person who blah 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 is just crazy because I'm the kind of person who, doesn't want to eat gluten, but I'm also the kind of person who really wants the chocolate cake. So there are different parts of ourselves that are out at any given time. And so one of the things that's really important to remember is that if, for example, you have a part that's very people pleasing, that means that at the root level, you are a very thoughtful and caring person. And uh, when your nervous system is regulated, for lack of a better way to say that, right? You're in a state of calm and ease and flow, then those beautiful qualities just come naturally out of you. But when you get into a state of stress, that those beautiful qualities of not thoughtfulness become this hyper reactive, oh my God, I've got to make sure everybody's okay because it makes me so anxious. And so there's lots of practices that you can do. And I work with a lot of very experienced meditators, which is wonderful. But even they can fall really succumb to this because we think, well, if I meditate for an hour in the morning, then I'm really on top of my thoughts and I'm watching them. But if you open your eyes and then you spend the rest of the day completely unconscious, doing the same things, having the same habitual reactions, it's really no different. So you need to be able to put practices, 10-second practices in during the day, things that sort of wake you up. Like I said at the beginning, right? Or I don't know if we were on camera or not on camera, but I said I was been a whirlwind and I was trying to remember to be conscious, right? Sometimes we just get swept away, but it's really a practice. And there are things that you can do that has been proven to be able to help you move out of that state of stress into a state of ease and flow and become more aware more of the time.
I wonder what is the source of people's anxiety that makes them fall into that type of behavior. Because when I look at my own life, and there's a time where I was doing that, and I felt I thought in my mind, I was doing the right thing. I was
Mm.
doing what I was raised to do, right? Like you help others before you help yourself. And it put me in a situation one time where it was difficult for me to understand why my life was the way it was,
Yeah.
right? And I had to do a lot of self reflection. I had to say, okay, Terrain, why do you continue to fall out with certain people, even though you have gone above and beyond to please them? And what I found is that I was doing it with the wrong people. And I was
Mm.
surrounded by the wrong people. So, for example, when I got my house, I was so happy and I wanted to people please, right? So I said to all my friends at that time, because I have this house now, everyone has a place to hang out and be themselves and things like that, right? It was like I was building this community. And then one person turned around and said, why is it that you can get a house and I can't?
Mm.
Totally deflated, totally devalued the situation. And 1 year later, that friendship ended because there was um, this unsaid tension between the two of us.
Yeah.
But on my end, Abby, I was like, I am doing the right thing. I'm trying to please all of these people, but what was coming back to me wasn't the same energy. So why do you think we fall into the trap of becoming this way, even though the anxiety is there, but we're trying to say, okay, what is the source of this? Why am I this way?
Well, I mean, so two things. I mean, first of all, remember that the people that we attract in our lives are a mirror of our inner world. So if you're attracting a bunch of people that are devaluing you, that means there's a part in your inner world that you are not valuing in you. And so I love the saying, I know who said it to me, I don't know who coined it, but I love the saying, if I'm not the problem, then there is no solution. So people, I think we've gotten really accustomed to saying, oh, the problem is I trusted the wrong people, or they were bad, or they were this, or narcissists, or all those kinds of things. And then they go off and they try and find new people, but they haven't changed themselves at all. And the only way to change anything in your life is for you to change. And if you change inside yourself, that part of you, I believe that it all comes down to worthiness. I just feel like I just don't think I've ever seen something that at the end of the day did not come down to a core worthiness issue. And if you fix that worthiness inside yourself, you are no longer attracted to the same people. When those people say things or do things that upset you, you have a completely different reaction to it. You don't see it as a reflection of your worth. When they say something, you see it as a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And so when you see it differently, you behave differently and you respond differently. And then if the friendship needs to end, it's not so painful because it's just ends. Or sometimes we're able to just impact other people just by being different. And they say, gee, I like what you have. What do you do? I need to change something.